Have you ever been to one of them old pioneer settlements? A step back in time, a living museum where demonstrators would demonstrate crafts and tell stories of the olden days? Well, right here at Panhandle Pioneer Settlement in Blountstown, Florida, we had just that experience. We had our Pioneer Day and Goat Day, and I got a little video and I want to show you all about it. Jill and I have been work camping down here at the Panhandle Pioneer Settlement for about 10 weeks now, and we're really enjoying our time here. We learned all of our duties and responsibilities with each passing event. Today we have the pleasure of hosting Pioneer Day, the settlement's annual fall festival featuring vendors, music, and demonstrations of cooking and other aspects of the pioneer life. And it is held in conjunction with Blountstown Rotary Club's annual Goat Day. For the day to be complete, we had board members, volunteers, work campers demonstrating history from the pioneers' perspective, skills from the past, talking about the old ways and how things were a little bit different back then. The Pioneer Settlement is a living history museum and a landmark in Blountstown, Florida. It has a collection of 18 historical buildings dating from the 1820s to the 1940s. It's situated on 5 acres and it represents an idyllic farming community. During the year, the settlement is home to numerous events and festivals and offers classes on the trades and crafts of the past. So here's a look at Pioneer Day. It started off as a foggy day. It gave way to beautiful blue skies and a slight breeze, perfect for wandering the grounds of the old pioneer settlement and checking out the sights to see. This year we had about 5,000 people come and go throughout the day, wandering the settlement, checking out all the historical buildings and some of the demonstrations of the crafts of the past. Like these Cowboys, where periodically the bad guys would appear, known to be troublemakers. The sheriff would have to come out and put them in their place. Yes, sometimes it'd end up in a gunfight, and sometimes they'd end up here, in the cemetery. No, I'm just kidding. It's all for show.
When the smoke clears and it's all over, outlaws get back up. Let's hear it for them. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for coming out.
And don't forget the general store and post office. Stop by and see all the goodies in this old-fashioned store. Local made jams, syrup, handmade knives, arrowheads, candies, and a Coke from this old-fashioned cooler, and a whole lot more. And everyone loves to ring the bells. If you come here and you're walking around, just ring those bells. That's what they're there for, so you can ring the bells. But in the olden days, the bells were used as signals to let other people know what's going on. Like if there was an emergency, like a fire or something, they ring that bell. And there's a big old bell down by the Wells house, and if you get down there, just ring that thing, just ring it hard. Everybody loves to hear those bells. Now at the 1846 Wells home, Howard tells a story.
The Wells cabin, built in 1846 by slave labor.
Yes, sir.
The family came from North Carolina, built this cabin. It had a porch on this side as well as this side. And after the turn of the century, they closed in, made a big dining room, big kitchen. There was stairs going up the second floor just inside this door, and that's where the children slept up there. The bed in here is original to the house. It's a cherry rope bed.
And you've slept on that bed.
And I slept on that bed many nights in this cabin.
Yeah.
We've had a big...
And there was basket weaving right on the front porch of the Wells home. You could watch the demonstrator demonstrate how the baskets were woven, or you could purchase one of the baskets right here. And right next to the Wells log home, LuWanna was cooking at the smokehouse. She was demonstrating cooking on an open fire, and she cooked up some crackling, some beans, and some red sausages. And the children got to shell some corn using an old-fashioned corn sheller. Then LuWanna was telling a story about how the pioneers processed the hog, eating everything right down to the foot.
They used their old lard and made homemade soap. And the wash pot, they put their old lard one day out of the year. One day out of the year, everybody made soap out of the old lard. They used lye and ashes out of the fireplace.
And then there's Dr. Dowlings' office, a place where the local community would come for doctor's visits. And if he wasn't in the office, Just ring that bell and he'll come running from his nearby home. And one of the special attractions here at the Pioneer Settlement, the 1897 Yon Farmhouse, where Frances would demonstrate how to cook biscuits on an old cast iron stove and how butter did not come in a box. And this year she cooked so many biscuits, she ran out of flour. I bet that old flour's out there in the middle of the ocean on a ship, waiting to get to shore. And at a small farmhouse on the edge of the woods, Rita tells the story about the Chason log home.
It is my family cabin. As a little girl, I was raised and grew up coming between my grandmother Tatum's house and the Chason cabin. So there's a picture on the mantle that has my grandmother as a little girl of about 10, my great-grandmother, Sally, her sister, Bertha, and her sister, Emily, which we called Aunt Mamie, and Aunt Mamie didn't die till I was about 16. So she stayed in this house, and at night would spend the night with my grandmother, Pearl Tatum. So I grew up coming with her in and out to get a change of clothes or check on the house or the kitchen or that sort of thing. So Aunt Mamie left the house. When she passed, I was about 16. She left it to my mother, Aline Tatum Morris.
Now that was just a little bit of Rita's story. I'll post the rest of her story in an upcoming video. And this was our popcorn delivery guy. Say hi, Philip.
Hi, Philip.
Hey, I wanted to do that. I can deliver popcorn. And I found these two young ladies spinning yarn down at the 1860s Bailey house. We have a farm show and they have an event called Sheep to Shawl.
Yep.
You've done that?
No, I haven't, but I'm
Yeah.
familiar with it.
Yeah.
Now,
And
I've been coming here to the Panhandle for about 16 years now.
I figured you had. Most of the volunteers have been here a couple times.
Met Clementine in August. No, April.
I've been here
It was an A.
4 times.
It was an A month.
Now who's Clementine?
Me.
You're Clementine. Okay. All right.
And
been here 4
Clementine wanted to learn to spin, so
Well,
taught her in April.
yeah, she is awful young to be spinning.
No.
That is awesome. Then down by the Yon Farmhouse, Jessica was washing clothes the old-fashioned way. And if you wanted to participate, just jump right in there and give it a try. From washboard to clothesline. Yep, it was the old-fashioned way. By now, you must be hungry, so stop down by the food concession stand. They're open and ready to serve. They've got hot dogs, hamburgers, peanuts, and popcorn. And sodas, too. And I think they got some juices and drinks for the kiddies as well. At the Cobbler Shop, Ben was demonstrating how to carve a bowl. He said a bowl this size would probably take him a good 8 hours to carve, and it was not easy work. At the Blacksmith Shop, Mr. Willard, the owner, talked about blacksmithing, the process, and how tools were made. Also, while you're in the Blacksmith Shop, check out the walls with all the old tools and some of the useful things that have been made over the past years. Up by the firehouse, we had some old trucks and tractors on display, showing them off. And don't forget to stop by the 1897 Shiloh 2-room schoolhouse, where you can hear stories about school in the 1900s. And listen to these two young ladies sitting here doing schoolwork and listening to the story.
Just letting the public know a little bit about the school, how old it is, what the kids used to do, how they came to school with no shoes.
No shoes. Wait, no shoes?
Little shoes sometimes.
Oh my goodness, yes. You guys didn't know that?
No.
Oh, it was hard times back then. Now these your children? No. Yeah,
They've
it
been
was
to
hard
visit me a
times.
couple of times today though.
Well, they must like school.
No, we just, I want wait, why have we
Hold on 1 minute. I gotta go. Hold on, Carl, I gotta get in there too. Whew! Thank goodness for these. That reminds me, we got an old outhouse over here by the Sexton House. And if you had a little time, you could dress up and have your old-time photo taken at the 1872 Sexton log home. And I do not know who this crazy guy is on the front porch. It looks like everyone's busy. What are you doing, Steve? I have been assigned the duties of staying in the axe room today. It is a room full of axes and hammers and saws and all types of equipment and tools that were used during the pioneer days to build cabins similar to the ones that we have here right on the settlement's grounds. And it's going to be pretty exciting. You know, people can come in and they can look. We've got Arrowheads, got a couple outboard motors for boats. I don't know why they're in here, but you know, whatever. Got a bunch of axes, broadhead axes, double head faced axes, and a lot of them that I don't even know what they are. Saws, hammers, drills, picks, all the things associated with good old hard work back in the day. And I welded a few of these, and it is hard work. It seems like everyone had a great time, an adventure to share with friends, parents, and grandparents. Everyone here at the Panhandle Pioneer Settlement had a great time as well. Enjoyed hosting the event and look forward to the end of the month where we're going to start making syrup. From chopping the sugar cane to the bottled syrup, we're going to do that and all between. Now, if you'd like to come out and join us and cook up some syrup, you can register for a class. Just call the office and they'll hook you up. And until later, thanks for your time. Bye.